TIA Christchurch hotel sector, which I presume is the Tourism Industry Association.
It's now Tourism Industry Aotearoa.
Oh, phew. Okay, right. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
They're able to amend the acronym.
Without changing the acronym, it's great. Yeah, brilliant.
Amend the name without changing the acronym.
Yes.
So, Mayor Leanne and councillors, this is a real honour for me to be here today, and I might like to take a photo before I leave, if that's acceptable to you.
Absolutely.
So today I'm here representing the hotel sector. I manage the Commodore Hotel for my family, and we've been there toiling away at that business for 47 years. And what I'm speaking about today is actually our submission was around ensuring that Christchurch NZ has sufficient funding to promote the region we're in. Before the earthquake, Christchurch had around 25% of the national conference market. So the loss of the convention centre has reduced that market share to just 9%. And we are all really delighted and pleased that there is a convention centre being built. And this is, we are very appreciative of that. But the challenge now is who is going to go out and get the business for this new facility. And that's the thing we want to ensure that Christchurch NZ has the capability to do that. We need to invest in Christchurch to attract back those conferences so that we rightfully get our fair share of that market. New Zealand travel patterns have changed. I mean, you'd be well aware of that, and Queenstown is now another recognised gateway to the South Island, and international airlines are increasingly focusing on Auckland. So we really truly need to compete against Auckland and Queenstown to extent as well. Visitors spend around 6 times as much as locals do each day. We all know from our own experiences that when you travel overseas, you end up being freer spending, and that's really important that we attract those people who are freer spending. And research has shown that 80% of that visitor expenditure is quickly re-spent in the economy. So what we're saying is that that money is turned over really quickly within our economy and comes back into our community. So it's got a far-reaching consequence for everyone in Christchurch. I mean, we've all seen it with Ed Sheeran. So many people went to Dunedin, and it was reportedly worth at least 34 million for the Dunedin economy. And of course, we need a stadium, which I know it looks likely, and that's really pleasing as well. But again, it's around the issue of who's going to promote these facilities when we do actually have them, and also promoting the facilities that we have now. We do have. There's no doubt about it. We've got capability without the new stadium to have events, and that was seen firsthand with when the boss came to town. Fleetwood Mac drew an audience of 35,000, generated 8.9 million for Dunedin recently, and in the 6 years that the covered stadium's opened, it has pumped an estimated 200 million into the city, according to Dunedin venues management. The hotel sector in Christchurch is performing. You'd have to say we're performing okay, but the thing is that we're just being all the other centres are actually outperforming significantly. I've got some numbers here. I just have to quickly jump on this here to give you sort of a flavour of. So for all regions last year in our hotel sector, the hotel sector was around 81%. Christchurch was at 86%, Queenstown 77%, Auckland Christchurch at 77% and Queenstown at 93%. That was for last year. So you see, 77%. It's a reasonable thing. We can make a go of our businesses, but with more hotels opening up, and that the 77%, the risk is that will drop further. So 77% in Christchurch versus 93% in Queenstown, and 86% in Auckland. So that's what's going on in our sector. Really, I've delivered all I have to say. Would there be questions there?
Yeah, I'll just open it up for questions. Yanni?
Thank you. I just had two questions, quick questions. One is, I just wondered if you could just talk to, we've got in one of the other submissions is discussion around Airbnb and what impact that's having on the accommodation sector. Is any thoughts that you have around what's happening there with sort of accommodation sharing and impact on the statistics that you've given to us?
Well, I know Christchurch NZ have done some work on it, and their economic department have, and they actually said that part of it they were picking up from was the people applying to amend their own homes to give them capability to receive guests. One thing I think is important, and these are views of the organisation and personal views, is that it is important that those people that are staying with us in New Zealand are receiving a quality experience, but also their safety is paramount as well. There was a family, a Malaysian family over in I think it was around Scarborough or somewhere, who in the house caught fire, and there was no smoke detectors in the house. We have to have a building warrant of fitness and attend to things in a professional manner. It would be well, everyone should have a smoke detector, of course. It'd be great for everyone to do that, but it's there is a real risk there that our industry could be tarnished by things going awry. Okay. I mean, there's good with it too, Yanni. I mean, isn't it nice to think if someone in a family home is able to maintain that family home and potentially rent out a couple of rooms?
Yeah. And the second question was, there's obviously been a big discussion debate up in Auckland around the bed tax, and one of the questions that's come through, I guess, has been around, if we provide these new facilities or additional money for events, who benefits and who pays? So have you got any thoughts on the industry actually making a greater contribution to the cost of bringing these events or the infrastructure?
Yeah, sure. We're not behind paying our own share, and we also, one thing we do really well, and we did exceptionally well post earthquake, was actually that sort of hosting the perspective and looking after those people that were going to the famil groups, the charitable groups. There was, at the time, the organisation I'm the chair of was led by Bruce Garrett. Bruce is speaking later on today. And really good at at ensuring that we pulled our weight in terms of when it was needed for, if there was an event on, there was people hosted in hotels free of charge. But getting back to your point, Yanni, about the bed tax, right? The issue we have is an industry with the it's not called bed tax, it's the targeted rate, and as applied in Auckland. The issue we have with it is the unfairness in the way it's applied. If it could be applied in a consumption way, on as per like $2 per night per guest or something, it would be a hang of a lot fairer than imposing a rate on a property. And there's a risk there too that high valued properties that you won't actually see such a palatial hotel built, because it'll be on the value of the property rather than metered on the nightly stay. And we understand too the dilemma you guys have got in terms of you can impose rates but not taxes, but maybe there's a way of somehow or other engineering that with government so that it could actually be and let's not forget there's a GST argument too. There's an awful lot, there's a wonderful large amount of GST paid for by these overseas guests too.
Yeah, this is a bone of contention between local government and central government. But a tax on a tax, which is the rates have GST attached to them, and also all of the extra effort that goes into economic development initiatives or attracting you know, events or whatever produces GST and we don't get a bar of it. So
that's unfair. Yeah.
Yeah. But you've given us a little bit of a glimmer of an idea about how we might approach central government around some of these alternative mechanisms for charging, because we don't think rates is going to be a sustainable mechanism for local government in the future. Certainly not for a city this size. Phil.
Look, thank you, and you've partly answered my question, which was going to be about other taxes, Michael. But so it sounds like you wouldn't be opposed to the concept of a bed tax. It'd be how it might be administered and collected that would matter. And I wondered if you might have the same sort of view about a visitor tax.
Well, it's the application, Councillor, and we also, you know, we just don't be careful we don't shoot the goose, you know.
Yeah, I might introduce you to a very interesting conversation with the airport chief executive on that one. Aaron?
Yeah, so mine's just a question on something you haven't actually spoken to today, but you and I had conversations about it, given that you're in our community board area, and that was around the cycleway, the major cycleway, and it's routed a couple of main roads over from where you are, but you had a suggestion around the Memorial Ave being the gateway cycleway to the city. I wondered if you wanted to mention that today. I know you hadn't written it down.
Well, I had to go off piece here,
He is representing the TIA today, so I don't know whether they've formed a view.
I didn't know they were
Michael, we know
anti-cycling.
you well enough to invite a personal contribution.
Okay, I'll be really quick, but I've got a submission in around that one, and so hopefully I'll get called up for that one, Aaron. And
I'll retract today.
Okay, he's on the list to be heard again. We could have actually.
is the cycling one down there?
Or is that a separate?
I don't want to be seen to be one of these recidivist submitters.
We're just gonna double check. But why don't we move on? Why don't you hang about for a few more minutes, and we'll invite Peter Morrison and Hospitality New Zealand.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll be very interested in their submission.
Oh yes, and then the cycling is it's truly about making sure the entranceway to our city is something special. And imagine this: picking up a rental e-bike from Malcolm at the airport and his team there. They'll rent you one, I'm sure, and riding safely into our city. Mm-hmm. There you go.
I don't think it'll fit my luggage.
So
Right.
I'll come back for that.
Thank you.